This is an island surrounded by water, big water, ocean water. Trust me, I'm like a smart person. I'm very consistent. I'm a very stable genius.
I had the best words. Tolerated. I know words.
Mike Pounds.
I hope they now go and take a look at the oranges of the investigation. But there's no better word than stupid. Anonymous, really anonymous. I'm very highly educated. One of the wettest we've ever seen from the standpoint of water. I had the best words.
God bless the United States.
Now witness the firepower of this fully armed and operational battle station.
Clean coal, meaning they're taking out coal, they're going to clean it.
Stupid.
The nation, Waldorf Nation. Happy Friday, everybody. Welcome. We made it through another week. Yes. I know. Got a great show today. So we're going to have some fun. It's going to be a little bit of a fun Friday. I know there's terrible news out there. There's the Pelosi video. There's, of course, police brutality. We'll cover a little bit about that, especially with the video upcoming. We'll talk about that next week. But today, we're just going to focus on fun. We're going to focus on making fun of chuds. We have Marjorie Greene, of course, facing a little bit of a setback for one of her amendments. AOC goes after a corrupt Republican. Which corrupt Republican? Well, I mean, there's a lot of them to choose from. We're going to talk about that. We have people on Truth Social, not exactly happy with the quality of ads they're being served. You're going to love that story. That's fun. We also have Iowa. We have a lot of Republicans that are ignoring Donald Trump's calls. That's also fun. And then we are going to talk about Fox News actually issuing a rare apology. Interesting. So, look, we'll get into it. Let's start out, though, with AOC handing a Republican their ass on a platter. So let's do it. Oh, before we do, please like and share the stream. Very important that you do so. With that, let's do it. Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez was told to educate herself during a debate Thursday over a bill on the House floor involving oil and gas leases. Now, her opponent, however, is a man that found himself getting schooled. In fact, during a debate over a bill that basically would approve a plan to increase drilling on federal lands and waters, AOC proposed an amendment that it would at least prohibit oil and gas companies who engage in stock buybacks from being able to lease on federal lands. However, of course, Representative Jeff Duncan, a Republican colleague, was not thrilled that AOC had pointed out how allowing more leasing on federal lands will not lead to lower gas prices, will not lead to any sort of positive effect trickling down to the average person. And he had this to say about AOC.
Go and learn. Go and learn for yourself about this. Educate yourself on how America attained its low emissions. If you care about the air quality, you care about climate change. Natural gas is what got America there. Educate yourself on that. Then we can have a better debate about future resources, future energy production. But this debate tonight is not about any of that.
Educate yourself. Oh, yes. You lefties, I have no idea what you're talking about. Yeah, you got to educate yourself. About what? Climate change? About how oil and gas works? Bro, first of all, on climate change, most of your party doesn't even believe in it. I remember stories coming out how there were some Republican officials who were worried that solar panels would literally suck the sun dry. Deplete the sun. You don't understand. The sun, it would be depleted. We can't put up solar panels. We can't do that. Stupid. And then, of course, you also had other forms of alternative energy opposed by Republicans. You know, it happened to be the last Republican president, former President Donald Trump, who talked about how windmills cause cancer. This was an endorsed position. The windmills, they make the noise. The wing, wing, wing. It gives you cancer. Stupid. Yeah. So look, I'm just gonna tell Representative Jeff Duncan to maybe, I don't know, shut the fuck up, moron. That said, we are going to show AOC's response, which was a little bit more tactful than mine.
You know, I understand in this body it's not the first time that it seems as though the opposing side can't seem to be able to debate the issue. And so they must come after my character. While I cannot control the fact that the other side seems to have made the assumption that I am uneducated, one of the things that I can say, or you know what they may say about my worldview, one of the things that I can say is that while I may not work for Wall Street, that is true. I may not be here with the mission to increase profits for corporations. That is true. My mission here is for the well-being and dignity of our family and our planet's future, for our children's ability to live on this planet. That is what this amendment is about.
Now, I love how she implied, correctly, of course, that he is corrupt, because he is, and that he works for Wall Street and large corporations, in this case, fossil fuel companies. And look, honestly, most of Congress also works for Wall Street and large corporations, to be fair. That said, the fact that the right wing cannot help her, cannot help but attack her for being a young woman is another point of contention they seem to have. Oh, you're a woman and you're a progressive? Can't have that. You must be an idiot. That's what they think. The main thing that they say about her is that she's dumb. Which, again, is not correct at all. She's actually a very accomplished person. But, again, it's not just the right that has done that as well. Establishment Democrats have also called Representative AOC dumb. And let me give you an example. Cedric Richmond, a former Biden advisor, now works at the DNC, privately attacked AOC and Rashida Tlaib, calling them both, quote, effing idiots. Now, you're not going to be surprised that Cedric Richmond has actually a little bit more in common with Mr. Jeff Duncan than, fellow Democrat Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. In fact, Richmond, this is from Politico, had drawn some fire from the left, including the Sunrise Movement, an activist group with close ties to House progressives, because of his fossil fuel interests. Now, this is from authors Jonathan Martin and Alex Burns, who wrote, "This will not pass, Trump Biden in the battle for America's future." So yeah, it seems like everybody who's bankrolled by fossil fuel corporations, has a problem with AOC, and they're all saying the same thing. Oh, what a dumb person. Yeah, maybe in their world, because they're both taking the money from these fossil fuel corporations that are destroying our world. And they're like, oh, you're dumb if you don't take the money, if you're not corrupt like we are. No, what's really idiotic is not doing a thing about climate change. It's actually super dumb. It's really stupid. Stupid. But not only that, but look, these politicians, mostly Republicans, but again, you have Democrats as well that are corrupt and take money from fossil fuels. They're protecting corporations like ExxonMobil. ExxonMobil, who has been aware of climate change for at least the last 50 years. Let me give you the details on that in case you forgot. In July of 1977, its senior scientist James Black had told executives, quote, in the first place, there's general scientific agreement that the most likely manner in which mankind is influencing the global climate is through carbon dioxide release from the burning of fossil fuels. Oil. A year later, he warned Exxon that doubling CO2 gases in the atmosphere would increase average global temperatures by 2 to 3 degrees. Which is exactly what happened. It warmed by 2 to 3 degrees. He continued to warn that present thinking holds that man has a time window of 5 to 10 years before the need for hard decisions regarding changes in energy strategies might become critical. We're at that point, and we've been at that point for some time. But because of ExxonMobil's insatiable greed, they lied. They covered up facts. They bankrolled think tanks to muddy the waters. And they continue to do so today. And they buy people like Jeff Duncan. They use those massive profits that they've made to fund climate denial, buy off these politicians, and they did such a good job of it, made so much money that they decided they're going to pat themselves in the back by giving themselves stock buybacks, which increase their shareholder value, which increases their dividends. They get rich. They get rich. These are the people that Representative Jeff Duncan work for. Yes, that's right. Jeff Duncan is a beta. Beta male. Works for the, oh, yes, oh, master. Yes, I will do anything you say, fossil fuel company. ExxonMobil, you want me to help you make more money destroying the planet? Of course, master. Please, just give me the money. Just give me the money. I'll do whatever you want. I'll do whatever you want. Who's the stupid one here? I would say AOC's smart. She knows exactly where you're getting your money, and that's got you a little bit triggered. She knows the corruption in Congress by both, again, corporate Democrats, corporate Republicans that take fossil fuel money. Look, sometimes you don't even have to take lobbyist money to be, a corrupt corporate Democrat. Look at Joe Manchin, who is a literal coal baron in West Virginia. Those are the people that hate AOC. They really hate it when progressives call them out on their greed, on their corruption. Now, AOC later on addressed Duncan's comments on Twitter as well, writing that, quote, fewer things are more predictable than Republicans having a meltdown when I'm clearing them in a debate. She also noted that her amendment had, quote, seemed to hit a nerve. Oh, yes, is somebody a little salty? Somebody a little triggered by that? Mr. Duncan? Got a problem with somebody calling out your, corruption? Calling out your friends in the fossil fuel industry that you will do anything to protect? Because they pay you? Because you are their bitch? That's what's going on here. Look, these politicians who are corporate backed, they really do think we are all stupid. They take all this money from an industry that is killing us, and then they lie to our faces. They say we're stupid when we present evidence that's been agreed upon by 99% of scientists. There is scientific consensus that fossil fuel industry is responsible for the rapid change in our climate. It's the gaslighting here that's a big problem. Okay? Look, even worse, by the way, for AOC. Because AOC just happens to be, again, having the right message on climate change, but also is a woman, a young woman. She is correct and not corrupt. Not like they are. And they look at that and they say, well, why don't you get educated and just become corrupt like we are? Just take the money. Just take the money. Do what we do. No. Don't take the money. Actually fight for the future. Okay. All right. Moving on. Let's go to Marjorie Greene's amendment. Actually, that's pretty funny. Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene offered an amendment on Thursday that immediately went down in flames. And I mean, really badly. Okay, it did very poorly. In fact, Greene's proposed amendment would have forbidden President Joe Biden from selling oil from the strategic reserve. It failed 14 to 418. Yes, 13 people joined Marjorie Greene in what is probably one of the most disastrous defeats I have seen. Wow. Now, before I get into the mocking, here are some of the details. So, look, the strategic reserve, I think we're all pretty familiar with what it is and what it's used for. It's set aside for the times where you have like an instability in oil prices. For example, look, Russia invading Ukraine, obviously that's a big problem, sent, oil prices up a lot higher. It was established during, of course, the issues in the 1970s where you had the Arab oil embargoes. And so, look, the whole point of the reserve is to, again, you release it, you sell some on the world market because it is a world market. And then that is supposed to increase the supply and lower the price for gas. That makes sense. Now, look, if you're a politician, it would be even more sensible to, before an election, for example, release a little bit from the strategic reserve. And, it's strategically helping your poll numbers because rightly or wrongly, and in this case, wrongly, there are a lot of voters who think that the president controls gas prices. Now, generally, again, this is all due to market forces and supply, but releasing from the strategic reserve can have the effect of, again, increasing the supply and lowering gas prices, which is, again, good for your election. Makes sense. Now, that said, when energy prices spike, fossil fuel companies obviously get richer at the expense of everyone else who ends up feeling a lot more pain in the pump. So Marjorie Greene, what's interesting about her is that she had spent a lot of time complaining about the price of gas. Hey, that makes sense. We all complained about gas, right? Now she also complained about inflation. And yet, her amendment would have ensured that gas prices wouldn't go down because there wouldn't be an increase in supply. And the reason, of course, is that, okay, there's a couple of reasons. For one, I don't think Marjorie Greene knows what she's doing because she's, stupid. Yeah, maybe.
Peachtree dish.
Okay, but anyway, not very bright, but also more importantly because she loves fossil fuel corporations. Because there are things that she could actually propose, yeah, and they might not do very well, obviously, but things that she could propose that might actually make sense when it comes to her claimed stated goals of domestic energy and American energy, etc. Because understand, her amendment was aimed at mainly stopping Joe Biden from selling oil to, she says, China. Really, it would be, if anything, state-owned subsidiaries, whatever, right? Or subsidiaries of state-owned oil companies, etc. And that's fine because you know what? The market, how it works is that it's a global market. That's it. Global supply helps set the price. Oil companies own the leases to federal land, at least in America, right? They extract the oil and they sell it on the global marketplace. That's it. That's why there's no such thing as American oil, American energy. That's always been a lie. It doesn't matter where it's drilled from, if or extracted from, if it belongs to a private multinational corporation, because that's exactly what's going on right now. It's not Americans. Like, for example, BP has BP has a rig, probably does, in like Alaska. Well, it's not Alaska's oil. It's BP's oil. They dug it up. And of course, the federal government allowed them to do so by leasing land to these private corporations. That's it. So now, a way to fix that, I suppose, if you really do care about keeping energy domestic and not dealing with the global marketplace, is you could, well, be in favor of renewable energy, for one. And I'm talking solar, wind, geothermal, hydro, nuclear, etc., right? That kind of energy. All those things can be produced and used here domestically. Okay? Now, the other thing that she could do, and I've talked about it before, is she could support nationalizing natural resources like oil and natural gas. Now, would she do that? No, because something communism.
In Venezuela.
That's why Republican, and again, that would actually literally make it American energy, because it would stay in America if you nationalize it. Yeah. So anyway, like I said, not very smart.
Stupid.
So that said, people took some digs at Greene. And one of them happened to be her former friend turned enemy. That would be Lauren Boebert. Now, this is a very subtle dig. So it might have went right over her head. But here's what she said. Congress is working as it should be. And I'm proud to say that all 3 of my amendments passed today. I think, okay, maybe I'm reading into it too much, but I think that's a little bit of a dig. Well, at least my amendments passed today. I don't know about hers. All right. Someone that's more direct. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Now, she had an amendment that didn't pass either, and it was the psilocybin amendment. And so, psilocybin. I don't know why I blanked out on that. Medicinal mushrooms, right? Didn't pass, unfortunately, because it can be very helpful for people in a medicinal sense. That said, didn't pass, unfortunately. And here's what she said about it. Quote, "Woof, even my psilocybin amendment did better than this." Hey, that's, you know what? It's a little bit of humility and also still making fun of Marjorie Greene. Fun. And then finally, one last one. Reporter Michael Ordona said, "Oh, so close. So close." It's like that, I don't know if you remember that insurance company commercial where they had the fisherman with the dollar bill. He said, "Oh, almost got it. Oh, almost there." Although 418 to 14, not all that close. Not close at all. So now, what's funny about this is, look, Kevin McCarthy, House Speaker, in order to get into his nice little position, he had to give away a lot of his power. Okay? So one of the rules that he allowed was for anyone to put any amendments at any time. So how that applies here is now on every single bill, you're going to have like 1 billion amendments. Now, of those amendments, you're going to have some real funny ones. Ones that are just never going to see the light of day. They're never going to pass. And like this are going to be very, very stupid. This is one of them. This amendment. This was like the congressional version of a ratio on Twitter. Nope, just did not work out. Even the majority of our party said that's really stupid. And of course, the reason is, it turns out people don't want to pay more for gas. Because that's what would happen if her dumbass amendment had passed. So, there you go. I can't wait to see what dumb, stupid amendments come from people like Marjorie Greene in the future, as well as even Lauren Boebert, because once again, stupid. All right, moving on. Let's go to Truth Social. Users on former President Donald Trump's social media site, Truth Social,
Truth Central,
are getting a bit fed up. Some pretty low quality ads. Now, the website is facing financial problems, to say the least. They're not doing very well. At some point, I could see Devin Nunes panhandling to try to make the bills.
I'm not worth your McDonald's money.
Come on, just alms for the poor. Alms for the poor. Can you please help us float Truth Social? Now, look, they've turned to advertisers to try to make some amount of revenue to offset the costs. Now, unfortunately for them, it's not a lot of people who are going to run ads on Truth Social. And the ones who are, well, the quality is not there. And that's causing some of the users to feel a little bit scammed. The New York Times explains. Because major advertisers are avoiding Donald Trump's Truth Social, users are instead being exposed to a flood of ads for such things as miracle cures, scams, and fake merchandise. To which I say,
Really?
no kidding. Really? Oh, is this a surprise? No, of course not. Now, the Times, as the Times, Stuart Thompson writes, ads for major brands are non-existent on the site. Instead, the ads on Truth Social are for alternative medicine, diet pills, gun accessories, and Trump-themed trinkets, according to an analysis of hundreds of ads in the social network by the New York Times. So, I wonder how long it will be, if they're not already doing this, how long it will be till they go the Alex Jones route and start selling dick pills. You know it's coming. Oh, unfortunate. That was a very unfortunate phrasing right there.
Tallywhacker.
Okay.
Testicles. I like my meat tight. Tighten up my meat.
I don't know how many Truth Social users are saying that they're having a problem tightening their meat, but pretty soon you might have some dick pill ads. You don't know. Dick Force 1. That's right. You need to buy some Dick Force 1. That's right. To go along with the Brain Force. Oh, how sad. How sad. Now, the New York Times continues by saying the ads reflect the difficulty that several far-right platforms, including Rumble and Gab, have faced in courting large brands. preventing the sites from tapping into some of the world's largest ad budgets. To that I just say,
Sexual anarchy.
I'm sorry. I'm kind of stuck in that mode now.
Tighten up my meat.
Yeah, I know.
Uh-oh, I'm in trouble.
Okay. Anyway, now, here's the thing. For advertisers, who would have thought that advertisers are not keen on the Nazi demographic? And that's not to say that everybody who uses True Social are Nazis, but I'm just saying that's where the Nazis go. You know, places like Gab, Telegram. And the reason that they go to these alternative so-called free speech sites is because they're banned everywhere else for good reason. And while the big companies are refusing to run ads there, True Social's like, I gotta make some money. I gotta make something because we're doing real bad. And so that allows for the scam artists, the hucksters, the fringy weirdos to come onto the site and hawk their very dubious wares. And again, it's because of the money. Let me give you a snapshot here of just how poorly True Social is doing. And how much they need this money. True Social had been initially financed with about $37 million from GOP donors. It is currently running through about $1.7 million a month. That's a lot of money in administration. It's a lot of money running it. And so they're almost out. They have issues with the SPAC that they're supposed to merge with because of the SEC that is investigating it. It is not doing well. Now, based on some of the statements from CEO Devin Nunes, who, back when it launched, they had expected some advertisers to flock to them, to run to the site. Oh, yes, of course, we would love to. Apple and AT&T and the M&M Marts, we would love to run ads on True Social. Turns out, nope, not really the case. And honestly, I am not exactly sure why they would even expect that, because, again, it's just a fringy right-wing bubble site. And look, previously I've talked about the difficulty in starting up a brand new social media company. A lot of them just don't make it. And the ones that do, at least the right-wing ones, they're only doing so because they're funded by Daddy Big Bucks.
You idiot.
But anyway, I don't know. I actually meant to put stupid, but okay. Anyway, look, that said, unsurprisingly, these advertisers have not flocked to any of these other platforms. Not only, as I mentioned, are these platforms frequented by some of the worst people in the world, but it's also because they just don't have a lot of people. It's not filled with people that are interested in the Truth Social experience. According to one advertiser, the money that he has spent on True Social, because it is so sparsely populated, has gone nowhere, has not led to sales. In fact, they quoted Maxwell Finn, an online marketer, said in a YouTube video that he was one of True Social's top advertisers. Imagine being that sad. Spending more than, get this, $150,000 on advertising, including for things like Trump-themed hats, shirts, coins, and novelty bills. Yes, I know, how sad do you have to be to buy those things? I would say very, very, very sad.
Stupid.
Now, here's what he said in the video. He called the ad platform, quote, frustrating, bare bones, and lacking even basic functionality. Oh, yeah, I'm not surprised. And said that one of the things that makes it very difficult for him to run ads is because he has to manually track ad performance, a method that would prove impossible for advertisers with larger budgets. He said, also, do I think this is a platform where you could be spending tens of thousands of dollars a day, especially if you only have a few products? No, probably. The audience is just too small. To which I say, sad baby. Okay. Now, for those who are still advertising on the site, fans of the former president are, well, furious, right? Because, as I said before, the advertisers are not being vetted properly. Quote, over time, the low-quality ads on True Social have irritated its own users who have complained to Mr. Trump repeatedly, seeing the same disturbing images or after falling for misleading gimmicks. And then they added an example of one user complaining directly to Donald Trump. Quote, can you not vet the ads on Truth? I've been scammed more than once. Oh, no. Oh, my friend. More than once, you say? I can't imagine how that would happen. Trump supporters, famous for not falling for obvious scams. Really? Really? Oh, come on. Seriously. Oh. Look, the funny thing is here is they actually believe that Donald Trump cares. I don't think he does at all. No, Donald Trump wants the monies. That's it. Just the monies. He doesn't care if you get scammed repeatedly. Now, the only time, to be fair, that he might care if you get scammed is if he couldn't do it first. Hey, that was money that was supposed to go in my pocket. How dare you? I'm coming after you now. Otherwise, no, he doesn't care. He's there to collect the checks. And he will continue to collect them until the day True Social crashes and burns and is promptly forgotten. Like, I don't know, The Right Stuff, Reagan Book, Freedom Book, or whatever else. What all of these different right-wing sites that just didn't make it. But at least he'll get his bag, which is what it's always been about. Remember the right-wing dating site? Yeah, the Right Stuff. Yeah. That's the one that just crashed and burned. Okay. Moving on. Iowa Republicans are apparently avoiding Donald Trump's phone calls. Oh, this is funny. So I guess it's not call me, maybe. It's I will not answer the phone if you try to call me. So wait, are Iowa Republicans basically millennials? Pretty much what I do. All right, no, anyway. Former president who has officially announced his campaign to seek the Republican nomination for 2024 is looking to drum up some support in the early primary state of Iowa. And again, it makes sense. He's running for president, et cetera, et cetera. Now, he's not having that much luck, though. In fact, it's not going well. It's going very poorly. Sad baby. Bloomberg's Jennifer Jacobs reported that both Senator Chuck Grassley and Iowa Governor Kim Reynolds, quote, didn't answer phone calls from Trump recently. Other Iowa Republicans have also declined to speak to Trump or even throw their weight behind Trump going into 2024. Other Republicans, I can imagine, who were reached by phone immediately answered, "New phone, who dis?" No, I'm kidding, of course. But look, what's important to know is that the Republican establishment has gone a little cold when it comes to Donald Trump. And of course, there's a reason for that. Now, Matt Whitaker, previously the acting attorney general under Trump, reportedly told people that he would consider other potential Republican nominees for 2024, including Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. Iowa conservative talk show host Steve Deese also referred to DeSantis as a, quote, more likable version of Trump, claiming some Republicans have turned on Trump for supporting COVID lockdown measures early in the pandemic. Yes, that's right. That was back when, of course, Donald Trump thought that would be the best way to save the stock market. Deese told Bloomberg, quote, DeSantis is basically a progeny of Trump, but a lot more likable and a lot more electable. And of course, they looked at that by looking at the fact that DeSantis won very handily his reelection to governor. So that said, I will disagree with likable, not because I disagree with him, but guys, Ron DeSantis. Have you listened to Ron DeSantis talk? He's a little whiny, and just not really all that charismatic at all. I don't understand the appeal, at least on that front. But I do understand the appeal on other fronts for right-wingers, because he is absolutely vicious. Policy-wise, he is throwing out all the red meat that, right-wingers crave.
Tighten up my meat. I like my meat tight.
He loves throwing out that meat. And what I mean by that is, look, he blocked a black AP history class because it was too woke. Then, arrested people for alleged voter fraud, which, again, turns out they actually had to get released later, so he's just wasted everybody's time. Went to war with Disney. And, by the way, it's not over for good reasons, right? Because I wouldn't have a problem with taxing Disney more or challenging them over their terrible labor practices and low wages, et cetera, et cetera. No, he just goes after Disney for being like too woke or something. It's ridiculous. And not only that, but he has also shipped migrants to blue states in what may have been illegal. And not only that, but talking about illegal, he'd also recently fired attorney in Florida illegally, and yet the judge does not have the power to be able to reinstate this person to that position. And so, yes, he is giving the base what they want. That said, don't count Donald Trump out. Oh, no. In fact, Trump, facing a growing list of potential opponents in 2024, is actually doing really well in the polls. According to a recent Harvard Harris poll of Republican voters, he led DeSantis and other top Republicans like former Vice President Mike Pence. Mike
Pounds.
I don't understand why Mike Pence thinks that he would even be considered by the Republicans at this point. No way. There's no way. But look, Donald Trump, by the way, in that same poll, is not just leading. He's absolutely crushing the field. 48% of Republican respondents called Trump their first choice leader GOP nominee, finishing with more than the combined individual preferences for the second place runner-up. That would be Ron DeSantis with a total of 28%. Now, that said, it is really early. It can and probably will change as the field continues to shape up. And as time, towards the primary gets a little bit more closer, it will tighten. In fact, Mark Penn, co-director of the Harbor Caps Harris Poll survey, said that while Trump may have the edge right now, he has largely maxed out his potential for growth. DeSantis, meanwhile, says has shown that he has the potential to widen his base of support. And so what's going on here is the Republican establishment and those who are not exactly keen on hitching themselves to a loser are taking a wait and see approach. They want to avoid taking sides a little too early because, once again, you have plenty of time, and there are other potential GOP picks that could come in and really change that field and how it looks. So, that said, in a related story, the New York Times reached out to all 168 members of the RNC, who just, by the way, reappointed Ronna McDaniel as head of the RNC. Sorry, Mike Pillow. You did not do very well. You lost. Sad baby loser. That said, here's a reason why Ronna McDaniel was renominated. It turns out that most of these members are not too keen on Donald Trump. Just 4 of the 168 members of the RNC offered an endorsement of Donald Trump. Oops. Sad. 20 said the former president should not be the party's nominee. An additional 35% say they'd love to see a big primary field or decline to state their position on Mr. Trump. The remainder did not respond to messages. In interviews, some RNC members estimated that between 120 and 140 of them preferred someone else besides Mr. Trump to be their party's presidential nominee. One went on the record, this is Kentucky National Committee member Mac Brown, said, quote, "This isn't 2016. People have moved on." Ouch. Arkansas member Jonathan Barnett said this, quote, "I've been a supporter of Donald Trump in the past. I just think that we need choices this time. Gotta look at all of our options." So what they're saying really is that loser Donald Trump, loser. In fact, RNC members have also reported seeing Trump as having taken on the image of a loser after his defeat by Joe Biden. Or I should say, at the hands of Joe Biden. Trump's subsequent refusal to accept the results in his endorsements of GOP candidates in 2022, who stressed their devotion to him, and then lost seats in key battleground states, including Arizona, Georgia, Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin, have some saying they are ready for a divorce. Again, sad, loser. And yet, even after all of that, Donald Trump, entitled baby, is calling them up, saying, "Are you going to support me? Are you going to support me? You know, you got to support me bigly. Let me tell you, I know how to win. I win. I'm winning at everything. You're gonna win so much. You're gonna get tired of winning." Well, I mean, if what happened in the midterms and in the 2020 election is considered to be winning, then yeah, the Republican Party is really, really tired of that. No, they see him as what he is. And this is talking about, once again, not the voters, but the party establishment. They're saying this guy's a loser, and he just got lucky in 2016. We're not going to try that again. We're going to go with someone else. There you go. All right. I just saw Rhonda McDonald won her election. Yeah. Okay. One more story here. And it gets a little bit more serious here. I know I've been dunking on Republicans all day, but I actually want to, I don't know, say something nice about a Fox host. Weird. But you'll see why. Yeah, establishment Republicans trying to carve out that off-ramp. Absolutely. Ravaging Wolverine says Trump has still has a chunk of support, but there's definitely been an erosion of it, both in numbers and enthusiasm. Again, that is correct. But make no mistake, too, I'm not going to discount the fact that there could be a comeback. We'll see what happens. All right. Fox News host Harris Faulkner apologized on Friday afternoon for airing the newly released Paul Pelosi body camera footage. So now the police footage, I'm not going to show you the video, shows suspect David DePape inside of Pelosi's San Francisco home back in October. Police had arrived at the scene. They told DePape to drop the hammer. He did not. He then subsequently goes to attack Pelosi with the weapon. Obviously, something like that's pretty difficult to watch. I watched it. It's violent. I'm not going to show it. If you really want to see it, it's not like it's hard to find. It's basically everywhere. That said, Fox News, they did air it. And apparently, Harris Faulkner didn't think it would be that bad. Well, it turns out it was bad. And here's her response after it.
The producers are apologizing to me, but I want to apologize to you. We had no idea what that was going to look like. And that should have had a warning and a graphic warning before we showed it and then on screen. I saw you look away, Kennedy.
Oh, yeah. I have a hard time seeing violence like that. And that was just a natural reaction. I know it's our job to look at those things and analyze them and take them in, but also
Absolutely.
the anticipation, we know what's going to happen, but
We didn't.
I'm squishy in that sense, and it's hard for me to see things like that, and as it is for you.
All right, so we had no idea what it was going to look like. Wait, you didn't? How did you have no idea? It's not like you didn't read the reports. You saw the reports. This is a man who got attacked with a hammer. What did you think it was going to be? Was it going to be like a cartoon? Was it going to be Wile E. Coyote getting hit with an Acme hammer? What did you expect, Harris Faulkner? Come on. This is real life. He was seriously injured. Seriously injured. It was brutal. And that, by the way, it's important to note that that brutality was meant for his wife, Nancy Pelosi. Imagine it had she been home at the at the time this had happened and the kinds of things that he would have tried to do to her. Look, again, no matter what your political, standings are, violence like this is unacceptable. We solve our political disagreements through nonviolence. Once you choose to pursue violence as a way to get your point across, you've already lost the argument. Now, that said, I obviously, sounds like I'm criticizing Harris Faulkner, and I kind of am, for not understanding how bad this was. But now I'm going to show her apology, right? And for, and to show her understanding her mistake and apologizing for that mistake. Take a look.
And as it would be for his beloved, for Nancy Pelosi, who, in every instance, politics aside, whatever your feelings may be, if that is your loved one on the ground. I mean, that was really quick between the time the police answered, and thank the good Lord that they were there.
So she apologized and also said, look, it doesn't matter the politics. This was terrible. And I'm glad that, the police were there. Okay. So now that said, they also showed this a second time, the actual video, but when they did so, they put out a content warning, and understand that that's totally fine. I don't have an issue with people showing the video. You show the video, it's a newsworthy video. I've decided to not show it personally. That's my decision because of, again, it is violent, it is disturbing, etc. But that said, I think it's important for Fox News to show that because maybe it might show the audience the consequences of the vitriol. Some of them, including people on Fox News, by the way, have been spewing towards Paul Pelosi, Nancy Pelosi, etc. for years, and how that actually has real world consequences. Maybe a good reminder of what it really looks like for, people to be attacked for their personal political beliefs, their personal political leanings. It's important to note that DePape was a rabid right-winger who didn't just disagree with Nancy Pelosi or her politics, right? No, he despised her in a way that I don't think most people will ever understand. I certainly will never understand. Okay? The level of hatred you have to hold in your heart to physically attack someone with intent to, hurt, harm, maim, even kill is not something that I will ever understand. And not something that I will ever endorse. And look, I'm going to be honest, I'm not a fan of Nancy Pelosi. I'm not a fan of Paul Pelosi. I don't agree with their politics. I think they're too conservative. I think they take too much corporate money. That doesn't have anything to do with this. Never in a million years would I ever condone any sort of physical violence against her or anyone else. This is a horrible, cowardly attack against them. And by the way, the conspiracy theories that have come out, alleging somehow Republicans immediately went to, this obviously has to do with gay. That's what it is. It's gay. There had to have been a gay lover scandal. Yeah, that's what it is.
We have to keep our country gay.
No, it didn't have anything to do with that. No, it's a vicious, unprovoked attack based on her political leanings. And he was the one that suffered the brunt of it. And again, I have to note, by the way, that part of this stuff was also spread by people on Fox News. It's disgusting. But again, going back to political violence. Again, I don't endorse political violence. I wouldn't endorse it against Donald Trump, Steve Bannon, the worst schools imaginable. I don't condone violence. It's not the right thing to do. By the way, if you don't care about that, well, then care about this. Violence helps them with their cause because it might make them seem more sympathetic. So if you don't care about the first thing, at least care about that you're doing damage to your own cause. Political violence, 100% unacceptable. But I'm glad Harris Faulkner apologized and put a content warning on the next time she showed that video. Because I think that it is important for people to see what the result of this violent rhetoric, what happens when you allow that to continue to spread. Okay. That's it. That's all I got. All right. So let me read. Violence in general is not acceptable. It's true. And let me just, by the way, say that there is an argument to be made that if you are being attacked, you are allowed to defend you. Yes. But generally, nonviolence is the way to go. And so I would urge everyone, to, not be violent. Okay. So, let's see. Gabby Mathis, very kind $5 super chat says, can't wait for the Tyree Nichols video to be released. Even I might get to my stomach. I assume you say you might get sick to your stomach. Would demonstrate in Memphis as I was there. Yeah, look, that's video is going to be very disturbing to watch as well. And so, yeah, that's, I we'll probably talk about that on Monday. Fefri LaRue, thank you for the very kind $10. Appreciate that. All right. Let's see. Go over to Twitch here. Nothing going on. As far as, subs and bits and stuff. That's fine. All right. Well, we've come to the end of the week. And so Twitch, let's do a Twitch raid. Because to the serfs. As far as everyone else, please like and share the stream if you haven't already. Very important that you do so. Sign up to become a member as always. By the way, in the next coming weeks, I'm looking to do some, a little bit of crossover with Jesse Dollamore. So that should be a lot of fun. So we're just working out the details. Maybe I'll have him on the show. Maybe I'll have him, be on his show. Should be fun. Whatever we figure out. And so should be enjoyable for us all. All right. Thank you all. Have a great weekend. See you back here on Monday. Love you all. And remember, change begins with you. Good night, nation.
Oh yeah. We will keep kicking your ass every single day.
There's no ice cream in hell. Person, woman, man, camera, TV. Truth, essential.
You idiot!
Peachtree dish.
You're kicking me out the door. You're kicking me out the door.
Up yours, woke moralists. We'll see who cancels